You ever enjoy a perfectly nice drink just to have to throw it all out after a fly drops in it? Well, that's what this list represents. Each of these games has a plot point so brazen and nonsensical that it retroactively sours the entire experience in some way. On rare occasions, the crucial plot point recontextualizes the story so you can enjoy it from a different perspective, but most of these game stories are utterly ruined by try-hard plot moments. Here is our list of 10 video game plot points that ruined everything. 1. Mass Effect 3's endings. The biggest innovations the Mass Effect trilogy gave to the industry was its consequential choices affecting the events of its sequels. To this day, you'd be hard-pressed to find a series that features such impactful choices transferred across games as Mass Effect. You could kill off beloved characters and even have access to exclusive quests tied to specific choices.
I can't.
I underestimated you, Shepard.
What have...
I warned you. Control is the means to survival. Control of the Reapers, and of you, if necessary.
But all of that brilliant branching narrative comes crashing down when Shepard activates the Crucible to destroy the Reapers at the finale of Mass Effect 3. Players are presented with 3 endings, all color-coded and nearly identical to each other. Sure, the outcomes of the endings are different, but the scenes that accompany them show the same dramatic sequence with some very slight alterations. Mass Effect 3's illusion of choice is presented to you by the Starchild character, a shoehorned character that pops up out of nowhere with no significance to anybody or anything.
So now what?
We find a new solution.
Why are you telling me this? Why help me?
You have altered the variables.
What do you mean?
The Crucible changed me, created new possibilities, but I can't make them happen.
The ending of Mass Effect 3 feels so cheap and inconsequential that many fans refuse to play through the trilogy again because of them, despite how excellent the games themselves are. 2. The character switch from Snake to Raiden, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Where do I know him from?
So you're the boss around here?
No, not just around here. I'm the boss to surpass Big Boss himself. Solid Snake. No, that is not Solid Snake. What a pleasant surprise, brother.
Save it. No brother of mine.
Don't say you've forgotten me, Snake.
Snake?
Right, take cover.
The initial reaction most of us had upon playing Metal Gear Solid 2 without Solid Snake as the lead was disappointment mixed with some confusion. Metal Gear Solid 1 was a breakout hit that established the series in the industry, and Solid Snake was a huge part of that formula. So where was Solid Snake and who the heck is this new blonde-haired guy? Well, every player could tell something was strange when they started the Big Shell Incident mission. Everything Raiden does in this mission imitates Solid Snake's legendary Shadow Moses infiltration from Metal Gear Solid 1. It later gets revealed that Raiden is a mere lab rat experiment to create the perfect soldier, hence why his mission simulates that of the perfect soldier that Snake exemplifies with his mission in MGS1. If MGS1 didn't cement just how absolutely meta Kojima games could get, then MGS2 would certify it with the gameplay/story integration of Raiden as the main character. 3. You Are Nothing But Big Boss's Phantom, MGS5 The Phantom Pain.
This is you, as you've lived until this day. Tomorrow, it becomes a phantom.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is yet another example of a character following the footsteps of Big Boss, yet this time you think you are Big Boss throughout most of the story. Turns out, Venom Snake was really just a field medic who underwent mind-controlling hypnotherapy and plastic surgery so that Big Boss's persona would be imprinted onto him. This tremendous act of subterfuge is done to act as a decoy for the real Big Boss, codenamed Ishmael, throughout the game.
You're your own man. I'm Big Boss. And you are too. No, he's the two of us together. Where we are today, we built it. This story, this legend, it's ours.
Naturally, finding out you played nothing but a decoy the whole game recolors the entire MGS5 experience, even if Venom Snake still made a difference in the end. Big Boss and the Patriots really do love playing mind games with their soldiers, don't they? The Arm is the character's wife, Bionic Commando 2009. The story of Nathan Spencer is a truly twisted Greek tragedy. He departs from his newly wedded wife to go fight in the army as a bionics user. His desire to see his wife Emily again fuels his grueling days of fighting and risking his life. What a shock then to find out his wife was so close to him the whole time, grafted inside his bionic arm.
Emily.
I never left, Nathan. It's you who's lost.
I never wanted you to be involved in this.
It's okay. I'll always be by your side.
Apparently, bionics perform at optimal status when those close to them are merged into their equipment. What makes this twist particularly underwhelming is how underthought it was. There's a severe lack of explanation regarding how bionic connection grafting works, and is Emily even cognizant inside the arm? The ending is just about as bewildering as the twists, compelling players to shrug off Bionic Commando's story as the confounding B-movie game that it is. 5. Death Stranding's ending.
The last stranding has already begun.
Emily?
You're too late. What took you so long?
Your voice.
You still don't know who I am, do you?
Who are you?
Sam. I knew you'd come back.
The ending of Death Stranding may be the most Kojima thing ever produced. It's filled with pretentious terms, completely recontextualized everything and everybody in the game, and doesn't make sense no matter how much effort you put into figuring it out. Tell me if this summary makes any sense to a normal functioning brain. The personal beach of Ka got connected through the chiral network, and Porter's hug forestalled the final extinction event. That's my interpretation of events anyway. It's at least a hopeful enough ending to warrant a sequel. Oh wait, that's a bad thing for the characters and their fates, isn't it? Oh, who cares? At least we get to see another Kojima project with full backing of Sony's money. Whether the storytelling is good or bad is up to you. 6. Joel's Death, The Last of Us Part 2. I think just about everybody assumed that we'd be controlling Ellie as a major character in The Last of Us Part 2. However, nothing could have prepared us for the dishonorable and savage way that Joel was ejected out of the story. Joel uncharacteristically gets captured by a militia group composed of former Firefly members and gets pummeled to death by Abby, a woman Joel was previously attempting to rescue.
Joel Miller.
Who are you?
Guess.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
This death doesn't occur at the climax of the story. Oh no, it happens during the opening chapters of the game. Sure, there's some nice flashback sequences interspersed throughout which highlight Joel and Ellie's relationship after the first game, but the lack of lead-up and the manner in which Joel dies in Part 2, yeah, that left many players feeling betrayed and robbed. 7. The identity of the Origami Killer, Heavy Rain. Murder mysteries hinge on the critical moment when a killer is finally identified. This moment ended up being the critical flaw in Heavy Rain's plot. The entire plot of Heavy Rain revolves around 4 characters and their search for the Origami Killer. When it's finally revealed near the end that one of these 4 characters, Scott Shelby, is in fact the Origami Killer, all suspension of disbelief gets thrown out the window. Heavy Rain doesn't do anything to lead up to this revelation, portraying Scott as nothing more than a quiet private investigator with good intentions to catch the Origami Killer. It's yet another example of David Cage games having a story twist injected with shock value that it didn't earn. 8. Cortana's sacrifice in Halo 4 and potential resurgence as the weapon in Halo Infinite.
Cortana. Cortana, do you read? Cortana, come in.
Halo never managed to find its footing after the 4th entry in the series. Ever since Cortana's sacrifice at the end of Halo 4, 343 Industries hasn't stopped waving her around in players' faces like a carrot on a stick. Cortana was apparently saved by the same Forerunner tech that destroyed her in Halo 4, and she ends up becoming an antagonistic AI set to destroy the galaxy at the end of Halo 5. The majority of Halo Infinite's campaign is centered on neutralizing Cortana, except, plot twist, it wasn't really Cortana. Cortana really did die at the end of Halo 4. This Cortana super AI may just be a parasitic Forerunner construct using Cortana's identity. Or maybe that's wrong too. There's still speculation as to Cortana's status and whether or not she's the weapon at the end of Halo Infinite. However you explain it, Cortana's constant resurgence into the plot after Halo 4 feels like a contrived effort to keep Cortana and the series relevant. 9. Arkham Knight revealed as Jason Todd, Batman Arkham Knight. Just about anybody playing through Arkham Knight would have guessed the identity of the Knight as Jason Todd, aka Red Hood, aka Robin. The game telegraphs his identity constantly and hardly goes out of its way to make the twist a surprise. And yet, the way it's framed is that of a typical dramatic twist, with 2 ex-friends facing off against each other and the villain shouting, "You really have no idea, do you, Bruce?" Cue the audio surprise stinger. At least newcomers to Batman lore will be somewhat surprised, and Troy Baker admittedly kills it as Red Hood. Still, when the entire game and its marketing try really hard to frame the main villain's identity as a mystery and then fail to make it the least bit surprising when it's revealed, it kind of defeats the purpose of the game's appeal.
You wanna know what I want now? I want you dead.
Can't hide from me! I will hunt you down!
"10. Realizing you might be the villain, Shadow of the Colossus. I can't be the only cold-blooded player who played through the entirety of Shadow of Colossus without thinking for a second if those giant colossi were deserving of their deaths or not, right? The solitary goal of the game consists of felling the 16 colossi, so as a player, it's hard to imagine the entire point is not a noble one. The game makes it seem like saving the bedridden Mono by defeating the colossi is the honorable thing to do, up until the very end when Wanderer gets completely possessed and ends up being condemned by Iman. Wanderer was also willing to go to any lengths to save Mono, painting him as a villain willing to justify the ends with evil means. This ending recontextualized the game, making you realize that you're playing through the villain's journey and not the hero after all. Talk about a guilt trip. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.